Welcome everybody to another episode of Owls TV. We are going to be talking to you today about a lot of scam cannabinoids. There's been so many new cannabinoids that are coming out. It's often very difficult to navigate as a manufacturer, difficult to navigate as a consumer, difficult to navigate as a testing facility. It's all very difficult, and we want to provide some education when it comes to these newer cannabinoids and ones that are basically just completely made up and basically don't have any test results for it. So let's just first, before we jump into naming all of these different cannabinoids, I first just want to identify what is a scam cannabinoid. Well, a scam cannabinoid would be a cannabinoid that is on a packaging for a product. So it could be cartridges, it could be disposables, it could be smokables, whatever it is that is in fact not in that product and not present at all in anywhere, right? So something that is, hey, this is a new cannabinoid, and then you research it, there's actually no information anywhere about it, and therefore it would be a proceed with caution. If you want to be putting a bunch of unknowns into your body, that's great. But for a lot of us here, we actually care about ourselves, our bodies, what we want to put in there, and just don't want to put basically in a bunch of chemical soup that somebody is saying, hey, this is cool. And then you look at it and there's actually no testing for it and it doesn't actually even exist. So if that is something that is sounds good to you, I'd urge you to subscribe, look at our content, as we are going to continually lift the veil when it comes to a lot of this bullshit that we are being fed through a multitude of different companies. So some scam cannabinoids can actually turn into real cannabinoids later on. So for instance, Delta-9 THCP, Delta-9 THCJD, these are all cannabinoids that originally, when we're being tested, that no one was actually finding any of these said cannabinoids in the test results, whereas now you actually can, and it's actually pretty pure. So for right now, I want this to be a proceed with caution, and basically there's no testing for any of these cannabinoids, and I'm going to explain to you very clearly what they are and how to look out for some of these sort of scam packages. So first things first, we are going to look at Delta-11. The more haziness around a cannabinoid, the better it is for these manufacturers. But Delta-11 is, I was just talking to KCA Labs, is also actually called Delta Exo THC, and that's not to be confused with Delta X. Basically, from what I gather, is Delta-11 is also not the 11-hydroxy, which is what is actually in your stomach when you eat Delta-9, it's into Delta-11. And so it basically is, all of this this is a new cannabinoid, it's stronger than all the others, and I cannot find anything on Delta-11, nothing. I find Delta-11 and I don't find any and then it's 11-hydroxy, and then I call KCA and they have not had a single sample with Delta-11-hydroxy in there, not one. And so it just begs the question, what exactly is in the products? If it doesn't test out, what exactly is it? And so that's why with a lot of caution, I would not go through anything which Delta-11 and any of these others like HXY11, these are all just made up names, right? It's literally just made up. And so I wouldn't even proceed with it. Just anything that has Delta-11 there, it's predominantly just Delta-8. The next one we have as well is PHC. So PHC is a completely synthetic cannabinoid. It's just like THCO. Main thing with PHC is, and what is said apparently, is that PHC is somewhere in the conversion process when you're making Delta-9 THCO, or I think it's after the fact. It's a metabolite, so it turns into PHC from Delta-9 THCO. But when we look at all the test results for this, there is no THC test results, like at all. There is something that's called PhD, but PhD is actually meant to be H4 CBD, which is just hydrogenated CBD. It's like HHC, but for CBD. So at this point in time, we can't actually purchase this with confidence because, and then the whole thing is like, apparently this is the new synthetically derived THC that only when you consume it, it turns into 100% pure Delta-9 THC in your body. And it's like, well, that hasn't, I can't find anything to support that. So PHC, everybody, I would run with a 10-foot pole. It's 100% synthetic. It is supposedly meant to be, it just converts into Delta-9. I just would be very wary about it, and I wouldn't even bother. Can't even find anything on it. It's like I can't even find that much. The next one is THCM. Now, I actually did find some literature on THCM. So THC monomethyl ether, because they really make it easy on us, don't they? THC monomethyl ether, THCM, is basically, was first detected in 1997, but that's really about it. It's like, that's it. And so there really hasn't been much else from it. It was detected, that's really it, right? That's all we really got. And so when we're looking at this, and it's like, I'll just give you some examples here. THCM is a new legal cannabinoid, and THCM is a lot stronger than other THC cannabinoids and equal to the strength of THCP and HHCP. No, it's not. That's bullshit. That's nonsense. The THCPs are a 7-carbon chain. This THCM, I mean, we'll see what the carbon chain is, but it's certainly not more than that. It's just bollocks. So, and bollocks there is Irish really for balls, I suppose. That's the THCM. So again, and often what I find the most frustrating when I look at this is like when I look at you can just type in THCM products, you won't actually find any THCM in there. So it's just like a marketing gimmick to get you to go to buy it, but it honestly doesn't have anything in there. So I would just be very very careful of doing anything with THCM, because there's nothing in there. And any of the products that I do find, even anything they're saying it's only going to be like small amounts, because they just lie repeatedly about it. The other one is called THCX. So what's THCX? Is that THCXO? No, it's THCX. And when you look up THCX, it doesn't actually come up as anything, right? So it's like THCX cannabinoid. Now, from doing my own research, from what I gather is that it is basically a bunch of THC esters. Again, I'm just gonna go down here and say that like do we really need this? Like, we have so many cannabinoids already. We have the THCPs are really there, like are excellent, right? They get you higher than anything before. The THCJD, I'll make sure to try some here, is supposedly to get you higher than you could possibly get. And yet we're just pulling these names out of nowhere. And so there's no test results for this. It's basically just a bunch of cannabinoids that are put into their ester form. There is no results for it. So it's just more this just like chemical concoctions that we're going to put in a vape, and we're just going to market it for you. And if I just put in here THCX, I'll even see if I can pull up. And it's typically the same companies you will find that are selling these products, and when you go to find them and you check out for the lab result, you will find that there isn't any. So all I will tell you is, all I'm going to say to you is this, is you got to ask yourself the question, if I'm being lied to when it comes to the products that I'm using, what else could they be lying about? That's all I'll say. And so when we look up at a test result for THCX, what we find is Delta 8 THC. We actually have Delta 9 THCP, which is actually pretty fascinating. That's actually a good amount of THCP in there. And Delta 9 THCO and Delta 8 THCO. So what we find here though, this is the thing that really irks me a little bit, is like the total cannabinoids for this is 71%. Here's this new one, it's THCX. Okay, cool. No THCX found in these products. And now we see that there's actually 71% here. So there's 30% unknowns. And so for me, that is just one unknown too many and would not be a product that I could really look at. But what I will say is probably most likely get you pretty high. I mean, it's saying it's got 15% Delta 8 THCP in there. I mean, that's pretty potent, right? So that would definitely get you very rocked. But in terms of THCX or any of that, like, no. The answer is no. There isn't really anything in there. And so that's THCX, everybody. They're primarily the main ones that I've found so far. Is there any others that you've seen that you've got questions for that you don't really know the answers to? Please leave some comments below, because I know this can be super confusing. We can certainly provide the answers for you. We do really read the comments, and especially when there's new cannabinoids out there. The other one, which you've already sort of touched on, is Delta 6. Delta 6 is actually Delta 10. There isn't a Delta 6 cannabinoid. It's all Delta 10. And you know how we feel about Delta 10 already. So I wouldn't buy the Delta 6 either. So just take it all with a grain of salt. Do your own research. But at the end of the day, all the products that I just listed out to you, there's not a single test result that actually shows these products. These products that are being advertised to us are basically in minuscule to little to no quantities, basically making it not really effective at the doses in the products, right? So, and this all comes back to, if we're being lied to, what else are we being lied to, and can we trust these products or trust these brands? So take it with what you will. I hope you enjoyed the episode today. Thanks for sticking around for so long, and we'll catch you in the next one.